you mentioned on your website that your mission is to wake up people to their alive center, and that sometimes it takes months, years, even decades to heal. But when we tap into self-sensing, like we can even get surprised that healing can be automatical. So I am curious to know, what does this has to do with pleasure, like this ability to heal in a split second, something that you were dragging decades ago. And what does this has to do with sensitivity?
Well, frankly, I don't know if anything really heals in a split second. I mean, it's a nice thought, and I've had moments of that, but I have to say, true healing is deep, and it depends on your history and depends on what happened to you, but it's a process, right? First of all, let's all agree it's a process, right? We're all on this life's path. Some started off better than others, some had a harder time, but we're all on this life path, this process. And I believe, like, as we wake up, right, as we get to know ourselves better and better in every way, like we're saying, emotionally, sensorially, in every way, and we just, it's like we keep having like this bigger bandwidth, like, to live from, right? More music to you hear, bigger bandwidth. It's like we can experience more, right? We can, and then we feel alive, and so that again is what pleasure is. It's not like, oh, I'm going to have sex, I'm going to have an orgasm. No, that's just one aspect of pleasure, right? Swimming in the ocean is, absolutely pleasurable. Eating a fantastic meal is pleasurable. Listening to beautiful music, and right. So I mean, but I think it's a process of us, becoming more open to ourselves and to life, right? Because of we've again, we've digested all these traumas in ourselves, all these places that we didn't want to visit, before, but when we realize there's no real spooky boogeyman there, we just have to be able to tolerate, whatever there is, I mean, I also mentioned in my website, I went to Peru and Costa Rica to do plant medicine. And, believe me, when you do plant medicine, you encounter, like, you have this visceral experience of whatever you're afraid of, whatever. That's what it does, this medicine. It sort of just puts it right in your face, like whatever you're afraid to face. And it's not an easy experience, to say the least. But when you get through it, it's like you see the world and you experience the world in a completely different way, right? The things that you were afraid to do, you do. It's because you had this tremendously, you faced yourself at such a deep level. Do you see? Through this plant medicine, they call it ayahuasca, but it's plant medicine. But it's such a deep knowing, it's such a deep facing of oneself. But it's still the same thing. It's facing, you're really facing yourself. That's the scariest thing on earth, right? To face yourself, right?
That's the scariest thing on
Yeah.
earth, to face ourselves. That's why there was a whole oracle building in Delphi Island or coast, and the legend, know thyself. Like this is a life journey to know thyself, and it's a worthwhile journey, definitely. And it's pleasurable. It's because knowing yourself is a journey that diverge in a totally from trying to be what the world expects you to be, though actually there are no clear guidelines, and it's what we think the others think that they expect from us. So it's a game of projections. It's like being lost in a hall of mirrors, whereas self knowledge is the inner gaze. It's to welcome the reality in us, and it's the authenticity. that comes with vulnerability, to see what maybe there are no boogie monsters, but there are also these aspects from me that I don't like, or my limitations and my handicaps. And also, like, there are these great gifts and capacities to share and also to delight in. And I like that you said that healing is a process. It doesn't happen. Maybe we can have healing realizations that are like eureka moments that trigger healing paths. But I like the idea of in a way allowing ourselves to be kind of undone, kind of a work in progress, in order to not procrastinate on pleasure. Like, don't wait until you are 100% healed from absolutely everything in your past in order to delight into the present moment. Because what if life throws at you a curveball, or there is war in the neighbor country or whatever, and like, there will always come stuff. So yeah, it's also like letting go of this entitlement to the pursuit of happiness, to the pursuit of delight, and welcoming the gifts of life, and in the same way that we offer our gifts, and not in a transactional way, but like, okay, washing the dishes is pleasurable, going for a walk is pleasurable, being with the beloved on intimacy, it's pleasurable. So there are gradients and colors of pleasure, and there are also currents of discomfort and pain and worries and stuff. But why wouldn't we welcome life as it is?